be fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Everything is always fine.
Everything is totally fine.
Okay, this is Reading Between the Lines. We're both emotionally unstable, but that's okay because we're doing it together. So go team.
Welcome to Reading Between the Lines. Today we are talking about Lauren Roberts' last book in this trilogy. I hope she writes other books. I assume she is. We're talking about Fearless, which is the third book in the Powerless trilogy. Let's just say, I want to go back first, history. So Emma read this Powerless before me and was like, you have to read this. It'll ruin you. Newsflash, it did ruin me. And then we waited for Reckless. You heard that episode. And now we waited for Fearless, and then it came out. So it came out, by this time the episode comes out? Like a month ago. So we still haven't recovered, but you know what? It's fine. So I don't know what you want to start with. I do know, because we do this in every other episode where we talk about Lauren Roberts, I need to pull up some of the quotes, and we need to talk through some of the quotes because they're chef's kiss. And that's all. I'm going to be done now.
Yeah, I honestly think Lauren Roberts is, for like poetry wise, she's like one of the best authors, I would say, that has like poetic lines.
That's a hot take and also a very like high praise.
Well, I just think she has so many of them and they're all good. Like obviously there are a lot of good ones in like Sarah J. Maas books and probably even Rebecca Yarros and like from Blood and Ash as well, but like when I think of Powerless, I think of Kai Azer and his words. Like it's like,
no, actually, I just think of his quotes.
Yeah, for real.
And you know what? The one that I actually think about almost daily, well, no, that's not true. There are a couple that I think about almost daily, but I always think about, and it was in Fearless too, where he says the beast does not get the beauty.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's depressing.
Also, I want to know, like, if Kai Azer was real and he was spitting these poems and poetic words at you, would you get the ick? Because I feel like I might. Like, I love Kai Azer and I love what he says to her, but I was watching something the other day and this guy was very poetic and I'm like, oh, I don't really like that.
I've thought about this because I also like watching movies and shows. Like, this is going to sound really odd and I will explain, but there was this Instagram reel that I was watching the other day about, like, I don't even know if it's actually a movie or if it was just like this short or whatever. And the guy was very like book boyfriend-esque, okay, but with Kai Azer's words. And I was like, God damn. Like, if my fiance came up to me and said stuff like that to me, I'd be like, are you high? Like, what? Except at the same time, no. It depends on the situation and where you are at. Like, if a man just came up to you and said something like Kai Azer says, you'd be like, ew. But if you're in a moment of like intimacy, maybe it'd be kind of hot.
Yeah, I agree. And along that same note, when guys like I see on TikTok like try like say quotes from books and they have this deep voice and they say these quotes because everyone's like, oh, you need to say whatever, I get the ick so bad.
Wait, do you actually?
I can't even finish the video. I'm like, no, I can't. I literally can't.
Dude, I live for those videos.
No, I get the ick so bad.
I don't get, okay, I get
or
the
when
ick
they're like
from the
trying to be hot, like thirst traps, but like in a book boyfriend way, and they know like it's a book boyfriend way, you know? I'm just like, no.
Listen, I can listen to those and like it. It's like the guy, here's the problem, is the guy always thinks he's way more attractive than he actually is. But I like hearing the voice. Like, if that was my GPS, I think I'd crash and die. So, but I would love it.
It's like, I get like secondhand embarrassment. I don't, and I don't know if this is like for every guy with a deep voice, but when I hear a deep voice and they say these things, I'm like, why is your voice so deep? Like, I don't know if I like that. Like,
Listen,
Theo James is probably like the only guy that I was like, okay, I like his voice deep. Other than that, whenever I see stuff, I'm just like,
listen. But when you think about scenarios, and we didn't get one with Kai Azer, which I'm still a little pissed about, but it's fine. It's whatever. It's because it's YA. But when you think about intimate, spicy moments, that's when the deeper voice comes out. I think like that's what I envision is like the growl and like the whatever.
no, yes, like it's the growl and their eyes darken. It's like they turn into like this feral person. That's an exception.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. I feel like in one of those scenarios, it'd be completely different.
Yeah.
And a lot hotter, but not if he just came up to you and was like, well, I don't know.
Well, imagine a guy coming up to you and just being like, hi, how's your day? And it's like the deepest voice you've ever heard. I'd be like, get the fuck away from me.
Wait. No, that's not real life. Okay. I was thinking like, what if you're sitting at a bar, right? Okay. And it's no, just go with me. But this isn't real life, but I wish it was. You're sitting at a bar, right? And you're facing the bar. And it's kind of dark, you know, kind of like whatever, moody. And you're talking with your friend or whoever you're with. And then this man comes up behind you, okay? Not to like talk to you, but like to order a drink, right? But he's got this like really deep voice. And then he kind of bumps into you and says something to you. Wouldn't that be a trap? I'd be like,
Alexis, you know damn well, if we were at a bar and that would happen, I would immediately look at you and be like, what the fuck? Like, did you just see that?
I'd be like,
my first thought would be like, oh my god, I need to tell Alexis what the fuck just happened.
I love how that's your reaction. My reaction would be to say something and flirt back.
Yeah, no, it's so funny because even in my dreams, and I've told you this, but for people who are listening, if I have a dream that like a guy will like talk to me or something, like I'll dream about that, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to tell Alexis right away. And in my dream, I'm like texting Alexis, what is happening? Like, what? I'm like, I need to update.
True friendship right there, because I actually do the same thing whenever I like, there are moments where I'm like, I need to text Emma about this.
No, for real. I saw a TikTok that's like, that would basically said that this person texts her best friend like every single day whenever anything happens because we're living this life together. And I'm like, that's literally like, I texted you this morning. I'm like, I got my coffee. And that was the end of that. Like, it was just like,
No,
just so you know.
And you texted, I made sure that you texted me that you were alive this weekend. You know, it's just courtesy, okay? It's true friendship. We need the life updates daily.
And it's so funny because I don't think a lot of people do this, or maybe they do, I don't know. But if a crazy situation is happening, I'm texting you like a live text. Like I'm like live tweeting this shit to you. Like I'm like, okay, this happened, A, B, and C happened. 5 minutes later, okay, A, B, and C happened. Like,
and then you're like, wait, I'm gonna send a voice message to you later about it too. Like you're like texting me live, and then you're like, wait, you're gonna get a voice message later, and then I get like a 4-minute voice message.
well, because then because I include my thoughts. I'm like, okay, and then in this moment I was thinking this, and then this happened, and I was thinking this, and then it made me think of this, and it's like
it's like your life is a book and I'm reading it. Ah, cute.
Yeah, but it's not a very entertaining book, and I feel like a lot of readers would be like, just get over yourself.
Actually, I think it's very entertaining.
Well, that's good. I'm crashing out a bit, but it's fine.
It's fine. That's what makes it entertaining.
Yeah. So entertaining.
Anyways, we just went on a total side tangent.
I know.
Okay, if Kai Azer did come up, if he was real, he would do something like that. Like, you know, like in the first book, second book, when I think it's the first book. Yeah, it's the first ball, I think. And she's wearing the dress and he comes up to her and whatever, and he says whatever thing he says. Wish that could be reality.
Okay, also, I feel like he eased into it a little bit. Like, there was some flirting, there was some banter, and then it was like, he became more poetic as the relationship grew. And I think that makes a difference as well.
Right. But he started and still was in the last book.
Yeah.
Very like forward, I guess is the word.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of a better word, but he was very much like, I don't know. The bantering was bantering and the like, I don't know.
The tension, the chemistry, it was all there.
It was all there. Yes. Well, I'm going to set the scene. If you haven't read Fearless, do not listen to this episode. Okay? Okay. That was the first thing I was going to say. I feel like you know that if you're already listening, but just wanted to preface that in case somebody thought, maybe they're not going to say any spoilers and I want to listen. Well, you got a little side tangent. You're welcome. Now stop listening. Read the book and come back. Cool. Okay. Anyways, so Fearless starts. My God, if I remember. Oh, yeah. It starts with, so Reckless ends and Kai and Peyton just had like this really cute moment in the poppy fields and whatever. They were making flower crowns and it was freaking adorable. They had this whole moment, but then you feel maybe it happens. Kai betrays her because he brought her back, quote unquote, to the kingdom to Kit. And Kit announces to everybody that Peyton is going to be his wife and they're going to get married. And you don't really know why until you keep reading the book.
Until like the very end, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is whatever. But I would just like to say there are so many. I kind of want to go through the book like chronologically because there are so many things that happen to lead up to the end. And first of all, I did not like how the book started. Okay. I was like, this is not just because of the like what actually happened, but because I felt like it was a little slow.
I agree. Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, she's back. Okay. Like what, like there was nothing happening. And then all of a sudden you find out she's going to go through the trials again. You're like, oh, what? Like, what? I remember literally putting my book down and screaming. Because I was like, no way she's going through the trials again. No way. Because, wait. Pause. This is maybe it's a hot take. But I don't think she would have survived the first trials if it wasn't for Kai.
Oh, yeah, same. And it's not that she wasn't capable of like surviving on her own. It's just like that there were so many other people in the first trials that were like tried to kill her and stuff and are way more experienced and everything, obviously. Yeah. So I agree with that. But when I heard that she was going through the trials again, at first I was a little confused. I'm like, okay, so she's doing them by herself or there's going to be like other people? I don't really...
Yeah, I thought she was doing it with other people at first.
Yeah, I was like, is Kai going to do it again? I don't really know what's going on. But then when they're like, oh, she's doing it alone, I was kind of excited for it because I'm like, okay, we're going to get some action going on here.
Well, right, because the first part of the book seemed a little like, I don't want to say boring because it wasn't boring. It just,
yeah, how did it set the scene?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did set the scene. And I feel like, are we even missing anything that happened before she did the trials? Not really.
Not really.
Listen.
But I do want to mention, and this goes throughout the book, so I'm just going to mention it now, but I remembered I was really pissed during this time. Column? That bitch. I was like, okay, I didn't like him in Reckless, okay, and I didn't really know how I felt about him in Powerless, but Reckless, I was like, something sus here. And then he kept showing up and Peyton kept being like, oh, thank you, like I'm so happy you're here, blah blah blah. And meanwhile he's sending her off to die. He's forcing her to marry Kate. It was his idea. And I'm like, why is she thanking him? This is all his fucking fault. And I said this like from the beginning of Fearless. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because without him you wouldn't be marrying Kit. So
listen, Also, is that how you say it?
Column?
I thought it was Callum?
Oh,
Column?
I have no
Callum?
idea. That's how I was been saying it.
Whatever. It doesn't really matter. But I thought, what one did I think? I think at the end of Powerless, when we didn't know that much about him and we first met him, I was like, he better not be a love interest because I didn't comprehend how old he was. And so I was like, I don't like this guy. He seems a little weird. And then we read Reckless, and I was like, okay, maybe he like will have a like redemption arc and it'll be fine. And I was thinking maybe like it'll be chill. Literally had no idea because I'm oblivious and can't figure out anything like Emma can. Emma can literally figure out everything, and I cannot. But I, up until the end, I was like rooting for him until no, not
What? Are you serious?
until we found out that when she asked him to walk her down the aisle, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. That's adorable. I love that. Up until then, I was like, oh, like she's going to have a father figure and like that. So it's going to like literally up until then. And then the next scene happened. And that's where obviously then I was like, don't like him. But up until that point, seriously, I was like, he's going to be like her father and it's going to be adorable.
I had trust issues from the moment he stepped foot in Fearless. I mean, Reckless, I had some suspicions because, like, I was like, Kit's going out of control and Column's there, and that's, I don't know, that's a bit sus. I don't know. But Fearless, I was like, absolutely not. Especially when I found out that it was his idea for Peyton to marry Kit. I was like, this is basically like an arranged forced marriage that
Listen,
he put her through.
but didn't we know that in Reckless that he was the one who told Kit to do everything? Like, we knew that he was the one who was kind of like controlling Kit's mind, but at the same time, I was like, from day one, this might be an unpopular opinion, but from day one, I did not like Kit. And I thought that he was going to be the villain. So I think that's why my mindset was what it was, because I thought that Kit was the problem.
See, mine was the exact opposite. I liked Kit, not for Peyton, but I liked him as a character. And then when he was kind of going crazy and reckless, I'm like, okay, there's a reason for this. Like, something's off. And so that's why I was sus about Column.
Listen, we can get into that later. The Kit
We were
and
both
Kai
a little right.
debate. What?
We were both a little right.
Yes. But the first trial was not the C. That was the second trial. What was the first trial?
The first trial is when she went to go receive the crown.
Right. I thought of Pharaoh and the Worm, not gonna lie.
Oh, that's good. My thought was I kind of want her to get hurt so that Kai can take care of her. I was like, and when she got hurt, I was like, I wonder what Kai's gonna think. And when those people attacked her, I was like, I wonder what Kai would do.
Listen, I also, okay, I don't want to hate on Lauren Roberts, but I thought that scene, the rest of it was good, but that scene was a little anticlimactic to me. Like,
Yeah, I can see that.
like when she got the crown, it was like, oh, okay. And then when she was like fighting them off, like it felt like it was easier than it was supposed to be.
Yeah, I can see that. I was really focused on like, okay, let's get back to Kai Azer now.
I would also, sorry, I'm going back. I would like to like mention the fact that throughout the entire book, I hate these two. They kept being like, this is just pretend. Like when he took her away to the broom closet and whatever, and like they were having their conversation, I was like, what are we doing? Would you just like stick your tongue down her throat, please? Thank you.
Oh, for real. Like they were pretend in all of Reckless, and now we have to sit through it's just pretend in all of Fearless too. I'm like, okay, we get it. We get it. You're
Well,
pretend.
it's just like, what are we doing? And she was like, you can't be mad at me because I'm doing this to like for a better, what's the place called?
Ilya?
Huh?
Ilya?
That, because I almost just said mine. And that's wrong. No, like, because she was like, it's for a better world and all this crap. And Kai's like, but you don't love him and whatever. And it was just like this ongoing argument. And I'm just like, you guys, can you both just do it? Because the whole time in both POVs, they are both like, I want to tell him or I want to tell her that I love them, but I'm not going to say it. And it's like, get over yourself.
Okay, this was my thought process as well. Like, I understand where she was coming from. Like, she wants to make life better for the ordinaries, right? And first of all, when Kit basically, it was like basically right away, he said, oh, I don't really care about the ordinaries. I just want to help the kingdom. And this is how we do it. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, wait, you don't see that's a bit sus? Like, the morals really aren't there. Like, what are we doing, right? And then secondly, to show the other kingdoms that they will welcome ordinaries, he wants to marry Peyton, right? Wouldn't it just be effective for her to marry Kai too, since he's also a royal? Like, wouldn't that also be okay?
Listen, that's what I thought too, but then I was like, wait, the reason why that's not the case is because technically, which you find out later, technically Kit was the descendant to the throne.
Yeah.
And he was the firstborn. And Kai's position was the enforcer. It was never to be the king.
Well, no, but even if he stayed the enforcer, like, he's still of royal blood to, like, the kingdom. So it's like an ordinary married into the royal family. It just wasn't the prince.
Well, that's not how Lauren Roberts wrote it. So
that was like my thought process. I'm like, why can't she just marry Kit? Like, why can't she just be happy? Or Kai, whatever.
Listen, that wouldn't have made a good book. So
I know.
Anyways, no, it just made me mad because, like, right away from the beginning, because we knew at the end of Reckless what Kit wanted to do and what Peyton was gonna do, but the entire kingdom knew that Peyton was Kai's. Like, the entire kingdom knew. So why were we acting like that wasn't true?
I don't know.
Anyways, I just wanted to mention that real quick before anyways. So yes, this first trial happened. She got the crown. And can we just talk about her entrance after she got the crown?
That was like power move 101. Like, I was like, that's amazing. But also in the back of my mind, I was thinking, but this is like her accepting. Like, this is actually her, like, accepting that she's gonna be queen and trying to show that she can be a queen. And I was like, but that means she's gonna marry Kit, and I don't want that.
Listen though, but she walked in with the crown, right? In her hand, basically, or was it on her head?
No, it was in her hand, and then she put it on her head.
Right, and she walked in basically like, ha ha ha, look what I did. You thought that I wasn't gonna make it, like all the people, because they didn't like her. She walked in, had it in her hand, and then put it on her head. And that was Kai's POV too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which made it so much better.
I know. I also want to say, so I don't forget, when Kit walked Peyton out of the room, doors closed, right? Kai walked right out, Kit left, and then Kai immediately picked her up, brought her to the room, and helped her, like, clean her wounds and all these things. And I was like, love. Like, he's not even trying to be secretive. He was just like, I'm gonna carry her up here.
Listen, I was hoping for a little bit of a Saris and Kingfisher moment there, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Little throw over the shoulder and then moment, but that didn't happen. It's fine.
She was also injured.
You know what? That's okay.
Okay. You do you. If I'm injured, I want to curl up in a ball and just watch a bunch of movies. But that would be my ideal situation, cuddling on the couch or the bed and just falling asleep.
Listen, he could have tended to her wounds and then
Girl had to walk how many miles there and back, fight off people. She fell in this hole, and you're just like, oh, she has the energy to do that. Like, what? She doesn't even have the energy to walk.
Bro, it's like the Instagram or the Facebook thing that I sent you.
I was just thinking that when I was saying that, actually.
Just saying. Just saying. Listen, we know that. Nope, can't go there.
Okay, but I saw something, and I think this is so true. That, okay, Powerless series is YA. Kai Azer is not YA. Like,
no, that's so
he's-
accurate. Listen, I love this series, and we didn't need a bunch of smut to have it be good. But if it did, I feel like it would be on Fourth Wing and ACOTAR level.
I agree.
Like, knowing Kai Azer, I feel like it would be Castile. It's giving Castile.
It really is, especially since there was one line, I think it was in Reckless, when they were tied up, and he was like, under different circumstances, I'm way more fun tied up, or something like that. Like, that's just like an indicator.
Listen, this is what I was saying when I said he's forward, but I can't think of another word.
Yeah.
That's not the right word.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Also, along this line, I'm going to jump ahead. Chapter 54, the willow tree. And he said, I'm good with corsets. Put me in a corset and have him take it off. Like, seriously.
The way that you said that so confidently made it 10 times better. There was no hesitation. None. The whole scene just needs to go into the Hall of Fame. You know how we talk about in like almost every episode when we're talking about books and how we're just like, that needs to go down in history. That is one of the scenes that just needs to go down in history. Okay? It needs to be put up in the Hall of Fame.
It was like, obviously there's no smut, but it was like the next best thing. And it was like so sweet, and like the lead up for them, like it was really good.
Can we talk about, okay, am I missing some, before I go to trial number 2, I just want to confirm that I'm understanding chronologically, I'm not missing anything. They didn't go to the loot and all that other stuff until later, right?
Right.
Okay. Because that's a whole nother thing.
Wait.
Did they go right after they announced their engagement, or did they go after
I think both, because the first time there was like explosives.
Oh yeah. That's right. And that's when everybody, because then that's when they decided to do the trials, because nobody, yes, right.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Well, then we can talk about that one later. But trial number 2, I thought of Pirates of the Caribbean.
That is, me too. The Kraken. I was like, that sea monster is the fucking Kraken from Pirates.
Literally, that's exactly how I pictured it too. And you know when Will Turner is like trying to get Elizabeth to shoot the gunpowder and he's up in the thing? That's what I thought about when Kai fell into the water. That's literally what I thought of.
Oh my god, I texted you this, I'm pretty sure. I was like, this is so giving Pirates, and he's so giving Will Turner, and that thing is the Kraken. Like, it was definitely, I wonder if she was inspired by that.
Maybe, because that was definitely the vibe.
Definitely.
The fact that they got on the boat, right? Well, the fact that Kit let Kai go, that took a lot for Kit. Don't like him, but that still took a lot for him. But also, when Peyton was reading those books, and Kai was like, you just need to keep reading, and like let her read to him. Can we just take a moment?
That was so cute. That was so freaking cute. He was giving golden retriever energy in those scenes.
Yes. Well, and two, like, he just wanted her like right there. And it was just so cute because it was like, you guys are just like adorable. I just can't. Anyways.
I know. And when she was like freaking out because of like the storm, the main point is he comforted her. without her even having to say anything. Like, she opened the door because she was gonna go to him, but he went to her. And the first scene when he went to her, where I mean, it was like the first night on the boat, he was like, I'm so bored. Why am I bored alone? She's literally right there. And he just like goes
Yeah.
hanging out with her. And I'm like, that's so cute.
It was adorable. And then when the first thing happened, was this before they got to the other place or not? When Kai had his dream that wasn't actually a dream, where he fell asleep next to her and then she was gone.
Yeah.
That was before they got there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When he went berserk, bro, he was literally going to burn that entire ship down to get her.
I know. And the fact that he knew that it was an illusion next to him because the illusion didn't have the right amount of freckles. Like, are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? That is the standard now.
No, literally.
Like, it took him like 0.5 seconds to realize that wasn't her.
Listen, men of today, if you don't know how many freckles she has, try again. Okay. Like, you need to like go home, try again, and come back.
Yeah.
That's all. No, and then when he literally was like, went up to the captain and like he was like, what the fuck? Like, he was like ready to slaughter them all.
Yeah.
Which, love. Please do. Yeah. Love. Anyways. Yeah. And then they got to, can't remember the place that they went to.
I can't remember it.
But when we first met the queen and she was acting all like kind and whatever, I'm like, that's fake and I know it. Like, I could just tell.
I kind of was getting the vibe of like she can be very dangerous, but also she's like powerful in a good way. Kind of thing. Like, that was kind of what I was getting like she's a powerful queen, but I felt like Peyton could trust her. Other people, I don't know, but Peyton, yeah.
I was a little nervous she was going to be a Maeve situation.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like that her and Kate were actually working together. Like, that's what I thought at first.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, because I was like, why else would Kit send her to this one place? Like,
oh, because they couldn't reach or get in contact with them because they were across the ocean.
Well, right, but I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was wrong, but I thought.
Yeah, I could see that. But when she gave Peyton a room and told everyone else to like leave, and then Kai snuck in the room, and when he woke up, the queen was just sitting there, and she's like, "Huh, this is interesting." I was like, that's when I knew that she was chill for sure.
Okay. Yes, once that happened, I knew, but I was like, when he started climbing up the thing, I was like, really? Like, come on. Like, I knew it was gonna happen, but I was like, bruh, you have like no like awareness. Plus, also, you do not care if you would get thrown into prison. Like, you do not care.
Yeah, no. And the fact that he was like, oh, yeah, like trying to explain, like, oh, I'm just protecting her. Like, bruh, she was like wrapped in your arms. Like, what are you even trying to say? Like, she got you in the act. And he's like, oh yeah, she's marrying my brother. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, girl, like what?
He was like, yeah, like there's nothing, like it, whatever.
And then Peyton wakes up and the queen's like, oh yeah, I saw Kai in your bed. And she's like, oh, that's nothing. Like, they're so stupid. Like, literally everyone and their dog knew that they were together.
Everyone and their dog? Okay. Yeah. No, seriously though, actually. And I loved how there was like a little bit of then trust built between Peyton and the queen. That was good. We needed that.
Yeah.
Anyways, then we travel back, have the Kraken moment.
Peyton saves them, and then the captain tries to take credit, and Kai's like, actually, no, Peyton saved your ass, so.
Yeah. I thought I was nervous that when Kai fell into the water, I was like,
That was stressful.
dude, I was like, no.
That
No.
was stressful.
No. But I was like, we're in the middle of the book. He can't die yet.
Yeah. But I also wanted to mention, before they left for this trip, Jax's reaction to Kai leaving was so sad and sweet because his parents died on that sea and he didn't want Kai to die. And I was like, Jax is like for real, like a little brother.
Yeah.
Like, that was so cute.
I low-key forgot about him. So when his name came up for the first time, I was like, wait, who's it? Oh, yeah. Like, I was like, oh, yeah. I completely forgot because there were so many people in the first trial that I, like, totally forgot their names because I'm like, I don't need to remember you anymore. You're dead. So.
Yeah. Okay, but also I hated how everyone was, like, saying to Kai, she's engaged to Kit. She's Kit. Everyone was like, no one was Team Kai. And I'm like, do you guys have eyes? Do you guys understand what is going on? Because it doesn't seem like it. What do you mean she's Kit? She spends like every night in Kai's room or wanting to be with Kai. Kai sneaks into her room 24/7. They sneak out to the willow tree. Like, I don't really understand where you're getting this information from. And why would you want her to be Kit's? Like,
No,
did they not see the whole trial with Peyton and Kai together or like anything? Like, what? Did their memories get erased? I don't understand.
Yes. Okay, but also, can we just talk about the fact? I don't know when this was or this was throughout the book. Can we talk about the fact that Peyton found out where Blair was and Lenny did not let her, and Kit was like, you cannot go in to get her or like whatever because you're gonna like kill her. And Peyton's like, well, yeah, because of what she did to me.
Yeah.
And the fact that even Kai tried to stop her, I low-key was a little pissed. I'm like,
I was mad too. I was like, why doesn't he just let her get her revenge? Okay, like that's what a good book boyfriend would do.
Exactly.
That's what Castile would do.
No, literally. Yeah. Listen, it also just made me mad because Lenny was supposed to be somebody that she could trust and like whatever, but he was totally like siding with the kingdom and with Kit, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? No.
Yeah.
Stop.
I feel like Lenny, like, he doesn't have bad intentions, but he's not. I don't know how to explain it. He's not like and I don't know. He doesn't have bad intentions, but he's kind of clueless a little bit, I feel like.
I think
Like, he just wants gullible is the right word. Like, he just wants the best.
Yeah.
But going about that, I don't really know.
Yeah. Well, the whole time when all that was happening and like she couldn't go and do anything, I was like, y'all, will you let girl take revenge? Because she is mentally, physically, spiritually, religiously, everything destroyed because of what this chick did. And she also tried to take Kai from her. So
yeah.
She deserves to die. Okay? Okay.
Honestly, yeah.
And I'm just side note about all of it. Peyton's emotional, like, I don't know, like everything that she went through, and when we got her POV and we got to hear exactly how much it was bothering her and affecting her, it was just so like, it was very hard to read.
I don't remember when this happens in the book, but when she goes to Loot and she sees Mac. Okay, keep in mind, I hadn't cried throughout this book yet, okay? When I saw that Mac was still keeping the fort alive and people away from it and protecting it, I was done for. I was like, that's so freaking sad and sweet because it's the way that Powerful fucking destroyed me.
I
I
know.
was like, I know how this ends, but it's like next to Liam. Like I kid you not, like those two go hand in hand. Like I don't think I've cried more at someone's death.
Listen, okay, this is gonna make me sound like a very emotional person, which I'll agree I a little bit am, but from that moment on, I was an emotional wreck, okay? Like, I think from like page 400 to the end, I was crying. And it was unhealthy, but it's fine.
No, I was like, this is so freaking depressing.
Well, and when she goes, can I give you a hug or can I hug you? I was like, oh my God.
And then when she sees that Adina made him a vest as well, I definitely thought Mac was gonna have a bigger role in this.
I did too. I did too.
But should we talk about the third trial?
Pause. Before we get to the third trial, we need to talk about, because I'm pretty sure this is before the third trial, when they have one of the balls and she gets drunk and dances with both of them. Okay, can we just, first of all, before we get to when she dances with both of them, can we just take a moment? Because I love it when FMCs lose their inhibitions, okay? When they lose their ability to use their mind, because then they finally stop being stupid, okay? And it reminded me of when Kai was drunk, okay? And when he wrote on his hand, like what he wrote. Anyways, and that happened. So when she was drunk and when she like her shoes were gone and he like held the shoes for her and all that stuff, I was like,
no, because and this is like proven, I feel like, towards the end of that chapter, but him holding the shoes is like, yes, he's in love. He's so in love. Like that just showed it. And she was like, oh my God, you're holding my shoes. Like when he's carrying her up the stairs or whatever after the whole night. And he's like saying that he loves her. And she doesn't like understand because she's so drunk. And she's like, you're holding my shoes. And I'm like, this is so cute. Oh my God. I almost started crying. I was like, oh my God, this is so cute. He's holding her shoes.
no, I know. Well, and it was true because you got his POV and people kept coming up to him and were like, stop staring, like stop looking at her, like you're not hers and all this stuff. And it was like, but he wants to be, like, stop.
He was hers the moment she stole from him.
That's so true. Please just like post that.
No, because why do I get emotional thinking about this book and them?
Dude, I do too.
I don't even know how to explain it. I'm just like, I don't know. I just like want to cry.
Their moments. Here's what it is. Honestly, here's what I think it is. Because it's not just the stuff. There's emotional maturity and it's he cares every step of the way, not just at point A or point Z. He cares the entire way and shows it in everything that he does. And it makes it 10 times better because we get his POV. Because I feel like if we got, like, when we got Castiel's POV and From Blood and Ash, destroyed me, okay? If we got Rysand's POV, I'd be done for, okay? Literally done for. So that's the point, is like we get his POV and we get to see how much he cares and the emotional maturity of this man.
Yeah, see, I love a good enemies to lovers, but we don't get that. Like if an enemies to lovers is done like so good, it's not like, it's like I keep seeing things about men yearning for women. That is what I want. And that's what Kai does from the moment he sees her to the very end. He just yearns for her and he shows it in so many different ways, whether that's his poetic words or letting her hold a dagger to his throat, which people would be like, oh, they're enemies, but they're really, not. Or like holding her shoes or like, anything, making flower crowns with her. Like he just shows it so many times throughout the series.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, oh my God. And I wonder if like the lack of smut adds to the like insane, intense emotional
Yeah.
connection
Yeah.
that they have. And then that I have with this book, honestly. Like I'm just like,
No, literally. Seriously. Yep. And then too, like, it was so sweet when she danced with both of them. I thought that was freaking adorable.
I didn't know how I felt. I was like, I don't know if I like this.
Listen, because here's what I thought. I was wrong, but I was like, maybe this is acceptance between the three of them of what's going to happen. Let me tell you, girl was wrong, but
I kind of took it as she didn't want to choose. Like, obviously, she loved Kai, but she wanted to help the kingdom, so that would be Kit, right? And so I was like, this is her just like not choosing, and it kind of made me mad in a way.
fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, let's talk about the third trial.
Okay, let me just set the scene for you of when I was reading this, okay? I was outside tanning, reading this book. I wasn't alone, okay? So I couldn't cry. I could, but they'd be like, what is going on? She's psycho. Okay. But I was reading this book and I was like, what is happening? I was like laying on my stomach reading it, and then I had to sit up because I was like, wait, what is happening? And then I didn't really like I didn't cry while reading it because I'm like, I feel like something's missing. I feel like we're not getting the whole story, especially since when Lauren Roberts posted that thing that's like one of these things is gonna happen, or all of these things are gonna happen besides one thing, right? And you're like kind of mentally crossing it off in our head. And when she said that Kai dies, I'm like, I feel like he probably dies, but he doesn't die. Like he comes back to life or something. So I was thinking about that while I was reading it. But I was still like, oh my God, what is happening?
Listen. Different scenario. I was alone and I was reading. And I was already emotional at this point from what just happened from when she went to loot and all that stuff. Okay. And reading about, she's going through the same thing, getting through whatever. And when it's literally making me emotional now. I can't. When we found out that it was Kai, I was done for. Okay. I was bawling. Okay. Because I'm like, no freaking way. But also, of course, that's who it is. Like, it couldn't be anybody else.
Yeah. And also, okay, like that whole time I was like, because he's like just put on a show, and I'm like, oh, so he has a plan. It's like something's gonna happen.
I was like, oh, it's totally Kai because he's like has a plan and whatever. It's fine.
And then he was like starting to actually fight her and like hurt her and like actually, and I'm like, wait, what is happening? Like, is he like being like controlled, possessed? What's going on? And then so I'm like, what? I'm so confused. And then he was like, to see, this is when I started getting confused. I'm like, wait, is this actually him, or is this actually happening? Because she was saying how it was okay for him to kill her, because she's like, I'm not going to kill you. And I was like, that's when I started getting emotional. And then he was like, no, kill me. Like at the very end, I'm like, oh my God, wait, is this actually happening? I was like, that's something Kai would say, but he wouldn't actually like hurt her and be like that intense. So I was going through a roller coaster of emotions. I was like, what the fuck is actually happening right now?
I was fully convinced it was him because I'm like, if that was actually the case, like Kai would make it very like believable. So I'm like, this is actually him. Like, this is going to be their last fight, their last whatever. Because going back when they were on the boat, they had their little fight, their little whatever. That made me mad. They had their little fight, and I was like, what are we doing? Stop fighting, okay? Just stop. But then I was like, this is when that was happening. I also read it really fast because a lot was happening, but I was like, this is everything that they've ever felt or gone through, or everything. That's what they're doing right now till the end. Like, that's what I was thinking, is like, he's putting in everything that he's ever felt and loved and whatever about her and fighting her, and she's doing the same thing with him, which is why it was so intense. Like, that's where my brain was. And so that's why I was so emotional. So then when he was like, you just need to kill me, I was like,
if I thought about it the way you did, you best believe I'd be sobbing my eyes out. Oh my God, that's so sad. That's like I know that's not true, but like thinking about it, if it was true, I'm actually kind of getting emotional now.
listen, that's where I was at. Okay. So there's the perspective. And then when we find out that it wasn't Kai.
Okay, when we find out that he's alive, I'm like, wait, did they heal him? Like, that's
what I thought.
amazing. And I was like, thank God he's not alive. So I went from like being confused to distraught to happy. And then when Kit was like, it was actually someone with the same exact powers, I'm like, nope, nope, nope. No, I know who it is. Please don't be this person. Please don't be this person.
When they said it was a boy from whatever, I was like, and then when Kai was like, let's go bury him correctly, and they went and did that.
When I saw that, it was, see, I was still in denial. I wasn't in denial, but I was like, I need confirmation for sure. And they went to go see it, and it was actually Mac. And like Peyton's reaction, that was another time I cried. I was like, this is so sad. But on the flip side, he's with Adina now. And that was like the good thing, but also it was sad because he died. And in the same place Adina died. Like, are you kidding me? Dude, Lauren Roberts just ripped my heart out. Like, Jesus.
She literally took, again, I tell you, from like page 400 to the end. Here, my heart was in her hand, okay? And she went smash and then put it back together, and then went smash and then put it back together, and then it was ripped into a trillion pieces, and then it was put back together. And
when I tell you I was emotionally drained after this book, I was like, I can't do anything else right now. Like, I just need to sit with this because, I mean, I was emotionally drained after that. And then there is one scene that we'll get to, maybe we'll talk about it next, that absolutely wrecked me more than any of the other scenes did. And I feel like we can talk about that now because I feel like that like is right there. But the wedding, when she kept in her inner monologue, she kept saying, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Like, I want someone to save me.
I was waiting for a Rysand moment.
No, me too. I was like, it's going to be like, he's going to save her. And the fact that her inner monologue the whole time was saying that she didn't want to do this, like leading up to it. And Kit said, I do. And that makes sense, you know. But when she said, I do, I almost threw up. I'm not even kidding. I was so like, I was so distraught. See, I'm laughing through the pain. It's not even funny because I have a video of me sobbing my eyes out during this scene. But it's the way that she walked out, the doors open, and Kai is standing there out of breath because he was running to save her, to stop the wedding, but he was too late. He was too late. And I don't know if a scene has ever wrecked me like that scene wrecked me. No one even died, but the fact that he was too late to stop the wedding, just even thinking about it, and I know how the book ends, but I'm just like, that honestly almost made me sick to my stomach. I'm just like, this is not okay.
I remember it just makes me emotional. I remember Kai's POV when he, after they got married, like the legit, like the next scene, and when he was like, basically like, I was too late. Like, I have to let her go. I was like,
and it's the fact that he was under the willow tree while she was getting married to his brother. The willow tree that was their spot.
That literally the night before
Yeah.
they were
And he never left.
pretending.
He was there the whole night and the whole day. And then he was too late. And I was just like, I'm gonna throw up.
Listen, it was the fact that they had like that was this so the same feeling that I had when they were fighting was the same feeling that I had when they were under the willow tree. It's like this is the end.
I had to just like sit there for honestly a long time before I could continue reading. After it was Peyton's POV and the last thing she said was like he was too late, I just had to sit there and cry my eyes out. And then I could pick up and like read it more. And I'm like, okay. Like honestly, it got better almost immediately after. So I really didn't have to cry my eyes out.
But it's also the fact that before all of that too, we found out all the things about who her dad was and the truth about who everybody was and who they were related to and all that other stuff too, which made it like Kit and Peyton were like, which we found out after.
Well, we kind of found out like from, is it Edric?
Yeah.
Edric, whatever. His POV, I was like, okay, I like Peyton's the girl. And I had that theory almost right away. And I was like, but I don't want that to be true because that would mean Kai is her like sibling unless he's not the Canes or whatever. I'm like a freaking psychic. Anyways, and like throughout every single one of his chapters, I'm like, okay, so we know this and this and this. And then it was only confirmed after the wedding. But basically we knew like that they were siblings.
Right. Well, and that column was her dad. Like her
We didn't know that until after the wedding.
No, we knew that because the reason that we found out was, I think, because didn't Kit give her jewelry?
Yeah.
And had the notes in it. And that wasn't that right before? No, it was after.
It was after. It was after.
It was after.
Well, because she got the jewelry before, but she didn't look at it because she found a note from Kit, or Kai, I mean. And she was distracted by that.
Listen, no, okay, so when we found out all this stuff about them and how they couldn't actually be married, but they were like, you have to be married, I was like, shut up, bruh, shut up.
Dude, that one dude, when Kai's like, you guys can't stay married. And the guy's like, well, you kind of have to. And Kai's like, what? What? Like, what? But Colin being like her dad, I was a little shocked by. I knew he was evil, though. I knew he was evil.
I didn't.
I did, 100%. I hated him. Every time he talked, I was like, shut up. Like, no one wants to hear you speak. Then Kai's like, where do I come in? And then that's when him and Peyton go see his mom, and his mom tells them everything.
Yeah, that's right.
And then they go see Kit to explain everything to Kit, and then Kit reveals everything.
I didn't like Kit from day one, but when Kai killed him, I lost it. Like, lost it. Because of Kai.
I was in shock. The whole time, I was in shock because I thought that Kit was being controlled the whole time. And it's the fact that he took the plague to become more powerful. He wants other kingdoms to have the plague so that he can have more elites and to kill like the ordinaries, right? And he was working with Column, and he killed Column, but just to like hide that he was working with him. Like, that's actually wild. And this is okay. This is probably the most emotional I get about like thinking about Kit in this series or in this book is the fact that he just wanted his brother. Like, he didn't even want Peyton. At first, obviously, you know, and then obviously they're siblings, so like he can, but the fact that he just wanted Kai's attention is so sad. It's so sad. And I feel like, and he was dying anyways from the plague. And so it's not, I don't know if it's like, this is a common theory, but I feel like he wanted Kai to kill him. Like when Kai's like, you were supposed to duck or something, like you were supposed to move, and he was like, I forgot. I don't think he forgot. I think he just didn't move.
When Kai was like, you were supposed to duck. I think I was already gone at that point. That officially threw me over the edge. Because then when we read his letters, to me, the letters were like a suicide note. Honestly.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because he knew what would happen if he took the plague. But he did it anyway.
I think a lot of who he is and why he did this is because of his dad, because of the king who raised him. And I mean, along with the plague that was messing with his mind, you know, but the fact that he didn't think anyone else could love him besides Kai, that is totally his dad's doing, like 100%. And I just feel so sorry for him. Like, I feel so sad.
Listen, that point, once we started reading his letters, was when my perspective on him turned around. But it was still like, you still were the villain. But you know how a lot of the time I say, like, the villain deserved to die? I don't think that Kit deserved to die. And
he was broken.
He was broken.
There's a quote, and I know you haven't seen Harry Potter, but there's a quote where it's like, he's just a boy. And he literally is just a boy that got thrown into this and was raised by a terrible person and didn't have a mom to comfort him and was betrayed by Peyton. Like, I wanted him to have a happy ending. I didn't want him with Peyton no matter what. Like, even from Powerless, I didn't want him with Peyton, but I wanted him to have a happy ending. And the fact that he became the villain only because he was broken, those make the best and worst villains, I feel like. Because, like, you connect with, like, you actually feel sorry for the villain and you don't really know how to feel. And that was honestly me. I was like, I don't know how to feel right now.
Listen, when we started reading his letters, I mean, I was already gone, but I was gone. Like, in every single letter, there was something about how it was supposed to be the brothers. Like, it was supposed to be him and Kai. And so then the fact that Kai had to deal with the fact that he was the one who killed his brother, like, that's what destroyed me. Like, it wasn't really like, well, it was that Kit went through all the things that he went through, but it was like Kai then had to deal with that. And that sucked.
But also the fact that he was planning on killing Peyton this whole time. That was wild to me.
Yep.
Like, and the captain and, like, the fact that she almost died on the ship, that was Kit's fault. And he was planning on killing her. And he was, like, telling Kai to move aside so he could kill Peyton. And, like, Kai obviously wouldn't. Like, Kai's like, what are you doing? I don't know. I just have mixed, because I obviously liked Kit in Powerless. And then in Reckless, I was like, I feel like there's something else going on. Like, I don't think he's the villain. But in Fearless, I'm like, I honestly didn't know what to think.
I did not like Kit. I was mad at him. I was, like, pissed until we read his letters. And then I was like, anyways, if an ending has not ruined me, like, out of all, and this.
Anyways, that the whole marriage was so cute because it was just
like I said, okay, I was a wreck when Kai died, okay? And then I was a wreck when the marriage happened, okay? And then when Kit died, and then from then on, like, not just, like, sobbing, because before I was, like, teary and, like, kind of sobbing. Then I was full-blown bawling. Okay, bawling. And then when I read what I just read, I put the book down and I just like sat there and I just let the tears fall because I'm like, I can't. Like, what do I do?
Yeah, no, because that was so sad after Kit's death. And then Kai and Peyton got married, and it was just like it was the complete opposite of her ceremony with Kit, right? And the fact that Kai made her a flower crown, and then it started raining, and they did not care. It was just like them and their love for each other. And then in the epilogue, when Peyton's like, "Do you still have her?" and he was like, "Yeah." And then like a little girl comes running and her name's Kit.
Listen, okay, wait. Unpopular opinion, but popular opinion. I don't know. I thought that they were gonna name her Ava. I thought her name was gonna be Ava.
I thought it was gonna be Adina.
So maybe they have other kids and they're not.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, speaking of, I think there's gonna. I mean, I feel like Lauren Roberts has maybe mentioned this before, but I feel like there's gonna be novellas, and I feel
Yeah.
like
She said that the story's not over.
okay, yes, and I feel like one of them is gonna be Blair and Lenny because there is something. What?
I'd hate that.
I feel like it might be like a. Not to compare Blair to Nesta because I love Nesta so much and I don't like Blair, but I feel like it's gonna be like that where I mean I'd obviously read it, but I feel like we'd get to know Blair a little bit more. And I feel like there was some flirtatious vibes between her and Lenny wasn't sad about her death because she didn't actually die. And like he knew that probably.
I still think about it. I finished it a week ago. I still think about it every single day. And when I think about the specific things that happened, like we just talked about, I get emotional.
I can't think about it because I'm gonna get too emotional.
I think about the end.
I think about
in the epilogue.
I think about when he was too late to stop the wedding.
Thanks so much for listening.
I feel like I need to go sleep. I can't.